Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing, where today we are going to be once again continuing to read Homer's Iliad. So, let's get going. He from whose lips divine persuasion flows, grave Nestor then in graceful act arose. Thus to the kings he spoke, "What grief, what shame attend on Greece and all the Grecian name! How shall, alas, her hoary heroes mourn, their sons degenerate, and their race a scorn? What tears shall down thy silvery beard be rolled, O Peleus, old in arms, in wisdom old? Once with what joy the generous prince would hear of every chief who fought this glorious war, participate their fame, and pleased inquire each name, each action, and each hero's sire. Gods should he see our warriors trembling stand, and trembling all before one hostile hand. How would he lift his aged arms on high, lament in glorious Greece, and beg to die? Oh, would to all the immortal powers above, Minerva, Phoebus, and almighty Jove, years might again roll back, my youth renew, and give this arm the spring which once it knew. When fierce in war, where Jardan's waters fall, I led my troops to Phaea's trembling wall, and with the Arcadian spears my prowess tried, where Celadon rolls down his rapid tide." 179. There Ereuthalion braved us in the field, proud Areithous' dreadful arms to wield. Great Areithous, known from shore to shore, by the huge knotted iron mace he bore. No lance he shook, nor bent the twanging bow, but broke with this the battle of the foe. Him not by manly force Lycurgus slew, whose guileful javelin from the thicket flew. Deep in a winding way his breast assailed, nor aught the warrior's thundering mace availed. Supine he fell, those arms which Mars before had given the vanquished now the victor bore. But when old age had dimmed Lycurgus' eyes, to Ereuthalion he consigned the prize. Furious with this he crushed our levelled bands, and dared the trial of the strongest hands. Nor could the strongest hands his fury stay, all saw and feared his huge tempestuous sway, till I, the youngest of the host, appeared, and youngest met whom all our army feared. I fought the chief, my arms Minerva crowned, prone fell the giant o'er a length of ground. What then I was, or were your Nestor now, not Hector's self should want an equal foe. But, warriors, you that youthful vigour boast, the flower of Greece, the examples of our host, sprung from such fathers who such numbers sway, can you stand trembling and desert the day? His warm reproofs the listening kings inflame, and nine the noblest of the Grecian name. Up started fierce, but far before the rest, the king of men advanced his dauntless breast. Then bold Tydides, great in arms, appeared, and next his bulk gigantic Ajax reared. Oileus followed, Idomen was there, 180, and Merion, dreadful as the god of war. With these Eurypylus and Thoas stand, and wise Ulysses closed the daring band. All these alike inspired with noble rage, demand the fight, to whom the Pylian sage. Lest thirst of glory your brave souls divide, what chief shall combat, let the gods decide. Whom heaven shall choose be his the chance to raise his country's fame and his own immortal praise. The lots produced, each hero signs his own, then in the general's helm the fates are thrown. 181. The people pray with lifted eyes and hands, and vows like these ascend from all the bands. Grant thou, Almighty, in whose hand is fate, a worthy champion for the Grecian state. This task let Ajax or Tydides prove, or he the king of kings, beloved by Jove. Old Nestor shook the cask, by heaven inspired, leapt forth the lot of every Greek desired. This from the right to left the herald bears, held out in order to the Grecian peers. Each to his rival yields the mark unknown, till God-like Ajax finds the lot his own. Surveys the inscription with rejoicing eyes, then casts before him, and with transport cries, Warriors, I claim the lot, and arm with joy. Be mine the conquest of this chief of Troy. Now, while my brightest arms my limbs invest, to Saturn's son be all your vows addressed. But pray in secret, lest the foes should hear, and deem your prayers the mean effect of fear. Said I in secret? No, your vows declare, in such a voice as fills the earth and air. Lives there a chief whom Ajax ought to dread, Ajax in all the toils of battle bred. From warlike Salamis I drew my birth, and born to combats fear no force on earth. He said, the troops with elevated eyes implore the god whose thunder rends the skies. O Father of mankind, superior Lord, on lofty Ida's holy hill adored, who in the highest heaven hast fixed thy throne, supreme of gods, unbounded and alone. Grant thou that Telamon may bear away the praise and conquest of this doubtful day. Or if illustrious Hector be thy care, that both may claim it, and that both may share. Now Ajax braced his dazzling armour on, sheathed in bright steel the giant warrior shone. He moves to combat with majestic pace, so stalks in arms the grisly god of Thrace. 182. When Jove to punish faithless men prepares, and gives whole nations to the waste of wars, thus marched the chief, tremendous as a god. Grimly he smiled, earth trembled as he strode. 183. His massy javelin quivering in his hand, he stood, the bulwark of the Grecian band. Through every Argive heart new transport ran. All Troy stood trembling at the mighty man. Even Hector paused, and with new doubt oppressed, felt his great heart suspend in his breast. 'Twas vain to seek retreat, and vain to fear. Himself had challenged, and the foe drew near. Stern Telamon behind his ample shield, as from a brazen tower, o'erlooked the field. Huge was its orb, with 7 thick folds o'ercast, of tough bull hides, of solid brass the last. The work of Tychius, who in Hyle dwelled, and in all arts of armoury excelled. This Ajax bore before his manly breast, and threatening thus his adverse chief addressed. Hector, approach my arm, and singly know what strength thou hast, and what the Grecian foe. Achilles shuns the fight, yet some there are, not void of soul, and not unskilled in war. Let him unactive on the sea-beat shore indulge his wrath, and aid our arms no more. Whole troops of heroes Greece has yet to boast, and sends thee one, a sample of her host. Such as I am, I come to prove thy might. No more, be sudden, and begin the fight. O son of Telamon, thy country's pride, to Ajax thus the Trojan prince replied. Me as a boy or woman wouldst thou fright, new to the field and trembling at the fight? Thou meet'st a chief deserving of thy arms, to combat born and bred amidst alarms. I know to shift my ground, remount the car, turn, charge, and answer every call of war. To right, to left, the dexterous lance I wield, and bear thick battle on my sounding shield. But open be our fight, and bold each blow. I steal no conquest from a noble foe. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. So I will say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back again tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.